Okay, everybody, this is the Red Dawn Post news. Just a few news clips. First, I'd like to say, check out my blog. I put more news stories at my blog at reddawnpost.com. Here, I'm going to start with a what's going on in these prisons where they're keeping the Taliban, which is all a big hoax. It's all a big to keep you in fear. They probably, who knows who they busted? Some poor guy on the side of the road doing something, and they said he's a terrorist. And then they find out in these prisons who would be the best to become an operative. And the point is because they caught another underwear bomber who was, AP reports and others, that he was CIA. Now, that doesn't mean that CIA is the only bad guy out there. So I know some people are going to say, oh, CIA, they're the problem, or something like that. It's not. It's the CIA, it's the MI6, it's the politicians, it's the president, it's all them guys who are part of this corporation. This is a corporation. It's not a country. They're corporations. All countries were meant to divide us as people, as beings. Divide and conquer. That's their motto. Go look it up. The Illuminati. That's what they call themselves. Go look it up. Divide and conquer. Albert Pike, I think, or one of their people they hold high in high esteem. Albert Pike or one of them. Divide and clearly says divide and conquer is their motto, and you can see it if you're paying attention, and that's what he's talking about here. So this is from Infowars.com, Alex Jones, the Alex Jones channel. I don't worship Alex Jones, but I like to pick out bits and pieces from him because he does put out legitimate information that can be checked, and I'll show you that as well. So here we go.
Camps to find out who can be operatives to go out and pose as synthetic artificial terror. If you want to invade countries, you've got to create the synthetic threat. If you want to take liberties, you've got to create the synthetic threat to take the projection of the bad guy so you can play the part of the good guy, when in truth, the New World Order is controlling both sides of it. You understand that? This is what they're doing. So they're...
In the New World Order, what it's being called, is the Vatican and royalty, the British crown, the princes. There's some in Africa. They're all over the place. It's not just a black and white thing. They're all over the place. Royalty walk the red carpet because they inbreed and they like to keep their bloodline strong. They're a bunch of inbred scumbags murdering. You want to talk about murderers? They're murdering people all over this planet, and it affects you whether you see it or not. It's affecting you because we're all connected.
Here it is. America has secretly been releasing high-level Taliban prisoners from a top-security military prison as part of negotiations with insurgents. Folks, the only insurgents they're fighting is opium farmers that don't want to get a lower price.
I'm going to stop it right there because that is a very important point. Opium. 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 When this Afghanistan thing, this whole terrorism thing first started in 2001, when they pulled the inside job on the trade centers, and then they went into Afghanistan, and that's what they have seized. The poppy farmers' land. They've seized the opium, not the oil, the opium. And what they did was they put these painkillers out not long ago called oxycodone and OxyContin. That was before it. Now it's oxycodone, and they have a lot of people hooked on that oxycodone. And so what's going to happen is those things are getting so expensive, from what I understand, that they are going to start going to the cheaper route because they're getting sick. See, these things you don't just come off them. They get you sick. You feel like you have the flu. You can't sleep for days. I've seen people that have said that it's very painful. You can't get comfortable, yet you're so tired. You feel you want to go to sleep, but you can't sleep. It's and what they're going to do, they're going to go the cheaper route. What's the cheaper route? It's going to be heroin, or which is made from poppies, or opium. Now do you see what's going on here? This is what's going on, and it's all run through the Vatican, through royalty, and down, then through the governments, the the people that have the most wealth, which are related to these people. By the way, the Bushes are related to the Queen of England, Elizabeth Windsor. You may want to look up why she has 3 stripes on her crown, and why she has 3 stripes on her hat or on her crown. There's a reason, and it's because that's your enslavement. It's the 3 trusts that they set up for your butt.
Bunch of tribalists in Afghanistan have always been killing each other. That's why Alexander the Great couldn't beat them. The Romans, the Persians,
Alright, he sits here and talks about how no one could beat him. I don't agree with that.
The ocean. Oh, who's this guy? We don't know. We found some underwear with a firecracker in them. Now, America, fall to your knees. We have an M80. And the Republic just goes, take my rights, grope my wife and daughters. I'm so afraid of a guy with a turban and with an M80 in his underwear.
And I'm going to do a video on this later, but what it's going to come down to is non-violent non-compliance. Okay, and it can be done. You can't. It's not a thing. It's something you can do right away. But I'll make a video on that later. So here's the. I'll leave a link to. Here's the story from InfoWars about the underwear bomber being CIA. Here's from Wire, and they're all reporting it from Associated Press. So go to find it on Google with the Associated Press if you want. Okay, they're reporting it. CIA operative, government operative, to keep you in fear. That's what this is about. Okay, this is just a story here. Some more Ron Paul shenanigans going on here. I kind of think Ron Paul is there to start a revolution, to get enough people on his side, and then steal this whole thing from him, because Romney's campaign's been caught stealing numerous times, using underhanded illegal tactics. That's documented. That's in all the news papers. It was reported. Maddow did a show on it. Things have been quiet for a while, but now a Republican executive committee member calls for the resignation of RNC chairman Reince Priebus. Where's he from? And why is he? That's an odd name. You should look him up. Who's he connected to? What kind of name is that? Priebus? Okay. But Romney's also in hot water too. Over here.
Delegate count for the Republican nomination for President of the United States. Look at the guy at the bottom. Ron Paul. Can he beat Mitt Romney? Doesn't look like it. But you know what? Mitt Romney's lawyers are telling Ron Paul, do not tread on me, or I'll get my lawyers on you. We have Danny Yadrin, the Wall Street Journal in Washington, with this story. Danny, what is going on? Why can't Ron Paul just, go under a rock somewhere and leave Mitt Romney alone? He's causing trouble, isn't he?
Well, certainly Ron Paul is not going to, upset everyone and clinch the nomination. But he is playing much more of a role in the process than perhaps some people thought. What he's doing is his supporters, who are very active, I'm sure you've seen them, they're taking over state Republican parties and state conventions. And this is allowing them to send more delegates to the National Convention in Tampa this summer than perhaps Mr. Paul earned through popular vote totals.
Right. So it's this mismatch between the popular vote totals and the
Alright, this is just
supporters, holding a rally about the gold standard
I'll leave a link in the description area if you want. That's some things that I thought were very interesting. Like I said, I don't think Ron Paul is going to come in and save the world. We've seen that before. If anything, they're calling it the Ron Paul Revolution. That's what they're calling this. Who came up with that name? Ron Paul Revolution. I believe they want to start a revolution. But they're going to use the divide and conquer, and they're going to pit us against each other as more of a Civil War type thing, or what Manson used to talk about, helter skelter. A race war. So say what you want about him, but just take a look around. Remember, you are, I am. Take care.